welcome back to the Deep Dive. This is the show really engineered for you, our listener, the seasoned crypto enthusiast. You know that the real action, the true innovation, it lies way beyond the headlines.
Okay.
So we're not just scratching the surface today. No. We're diving deep into the shifts, the bits and bytes shaping this decentralized world. And today, our mission is to really unpack the IKA mainnet. It's a pretty recent launch, significant, definitely causing a stir, especially in the SUI ecosystem. People are calling it a paradigm shift in blockchain interoperability. That's a big claim. We've gone through a whole stack of sources, digging deep to make sure you're not just informed, but truly well informed. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here is IK isn't just, adding another layer of complexity. It's actually aiming to solve some really persistent, pretty painful problems we see in cross-chain interactions. It's about fundamentally simplifying things, securing how assets move, how they behave across different networks.
That's exactly it. And we should probably start right there. The why. Why? IK. Why now? Because, let's be honest, even with all the cool stuff happening, the blockchain world often feels like just a bunch of isolated islands, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've got your Bitcoin over here, maybe some DeFi stuff on Ethereum or SUI over there, getting them to talk. Historically, that's meant bridges or wrapped tokens. And think about that analogy, moving gold, but swapping it for an IOU at every border, trusting some, often rickety bridge.
Exactly. Rickety is a good word for it. We've seen the hacks, haven't we? The lost funds. It's this reliance on trusted third parties, the fragmentation of liquidity, the sheer complexity. It's a constant headache.
A massive headache.
And that's the chasm IK is trying, not just a bridge, but fundamentally change how we cross it. Their core tech, it's based on zero trust multi-party computation, MPC. Now, this isn't just tweaking the old system. It's a totally different architecture. Forget the vulnerable bridges, forget wrapping assets. IK enables native asset control directly.
From smart contracts on SUI.
Native control. So the asset doesn't actually leave its home. Precisely. It stays put, but it can be controlled programmatically from SUI. No bridges, no synthetic tokens needed. So if we connect this to the bigger picture, IK is really aiming to transform interoperability itself, moving past those traditional, often vulnerable methods.
A fundamental shift, yeah. That makes sense. And with something this big, you always wonder, okay, who's behind it? The sources point to Omer Sadiqa, a co-founder, and a team of pretty serious cryptography and cybersecurity experts. Their stated mission is all about revolutionizing decentralized asset security and multi-chain DeFi. Sounds like they have the right background for it.
Definitely. That mix of deep crypto knowledge and practical security focus seems key. So we've got the why. Now let's get into the how, the tech. How does IK actually pull this off? It really centers around this concept they call the wallet.
Wallet, okay. Sounds intriguing. What does that actually mean in practice? Is it just another wallet?
Not quite. It's more like a programmable, decentralized signing mechanism. Think of it this way. It has an address on any network, and it's transferable. The key is this collaborative signing. Both you, the user, and the IKA network sign transactions together.
Okay, collaborative. But who's in charge?
That's the clever part. The logic deciding when and how to sign, that's governed by smart contracts on the SUI blockchain. So developers can write rules, custom logic for how assets behave across any chain, but anchored securely on SUI. No third-party trust needed for the actual control logic.
Wow. So it's like the wallet itself has programmable instructions that work everywhere.
Sort of, yeah. It's like giving your assets a programmable brain that operates cross-chain with security built in. A universal remote, maybe, but way smarter and more secure. And the engine driving this wallet is their specific crypto protocol, multi-party computation, or 2PC, MPC. Now, historically, people thought this kind of MPC was, impractical for decentralized systems. Too slow, too hard to coordinate across many nodes.
Right, you need multiple parties to sign off without revealing keys. Sounds complicated to do fast and decentralized.
Exactly. The latency, the scalability, big hurdles. But IKEA seems to have cracked it. They're reporting sub-second latency, linear scalability, supporting potentially hundreds of operators globally, all while maintaining that zero-trust security. Every operation needs explicit user participation, cryptographically enforced. That's the breakthrough.
And choosing SUI wasn't random then?
Oh, definitely not a coincidence. SUI's architecture is crucial here. You've got its performance, potentially 10,000 transactions per second, that sub-second finality with Misticetti consensus. That speed is essential for the real-time MPC stuff IKA needs.
And the data model.
Right, SUI's object-based model is key too. It allows for things like IK's wallet cap objects, unique, programmable assets on-chain. So SUI basically acts as the command center. It lets SUI smart contracts talk securely to the IK network, which then interacts with any other blockchain. In effect, it kind of makes every chain feel like a SUI chain from the perspective of control.
Okay, the tech sounds powerful. Wallets, super fast MPC, SUI integration. But let's talk brass tacks. Here's where it gets really interesting. What does this unlock for users, for devs, for the ecosystem?
Well, the big one everyone talks about is programmable Bitcoin. Imagine using your native BTC actual Bitcoin, not wrapped WBTC or anything in DeFi.
So lending, trading, yield farming directly on SUI with real Bitcoin.
Exactly. Your sats can finally join the DeFi party without the wrapping risk. That's huge.
Yeah, no kidding. What else?
Well, think about institutional DeFi. Institutions need super high security for cross-chain stuff. IK's model could offer that. Moving large amounts securely across chains, that's a major institutional requirement.
And that wallet as a protocol idea sounds quite radical.
It is one interface to rule them all, basically. Control assets everywhere, blur the lines between chains. You could potentially orchestrate really complex multi-chain strategies from one secure spot.
That's pretty powerful. And you mentioned AI integration. How does that fit in? Because even our AI overlords need guardrails, right?
Haha, yeah, exactly. The MPC provides those guardrails. Even if an AI agent managing assets gets compromised somehow, it can't just run off with the funds. Why? Because moving assets requires that collaborative signing, that consensus involving the wallet operators and the user's keys. It enforces secure, transparent operations even for AI.
Okay, that's a really important safety net.
Definitely. And then there's the potential for truly Bitcoin-backed stablecoins, backed by native BTC held securely via MPC, not just IOUs or wrap tokens. And it's not just theory. There are early adopters already building. You mentioned some names: Native, Human Tech, Ray Finance, Aeon.
Yeah, Legacy Link, Full Sail, native using it for native Bitcoin lending on SUI is a great example. No more WBTC risk for that specific use case.
Exactly. Real-world applications are starting to emerge, leveraging this core tech, which brings us, naturally, to security. Always the big question in crypto. We know the risks: reentrancy, Oracle manipulation, smart contract bugs, billions lost. IKA's approach with a zero-trust MPC fundamentally changes the security equation.
How so? Does it eliminate smart contract risk entirely?
Not entirely. You still need secure smart contracts on SUI to manage the logic, but it significantly mitigates the custody risk associated with bridges and wrapping contracts. Instead of assets sitting in one vulnerable pot, control is cryptographically spread out, requires multiple parties, user involvement. It inherently defends against many common attack vectors.
Makes sense. It moves the critical security layer deeper, away from just one contract.
Right. But, and this is important, we need to be transparent here, the sources we looked at do not explicitly state whether the IK mainnet code itself has completed third-party audits or if it's faced any hacks since launch.
Ah, okay. So the design is secure, but independent verification is still kind of a question mark based on this info.
Well, the protocol's design principles are strong, focusing on zero trust. But independent audits are always crucial for building confidence in any new DeFi primitive, especially one handling cross-chain assets. It's standard best practice. The underlying 2PC MPC protocol itself is a major security feature, but the implementation always matters.
Good point. Essential context. So thinking about the wider space, who's the competition? Or is IT trying to be something totally different?
It seems like the latter. The sources frame it as aiming to retire the old way, the bridge and wrapped asset model. So its competition is almost that entire generation of trust-based infrastructure. Sure, there are other interoperability projects on SUI like Stargate, Flock.io, Walrus Protocol, but IT's angle seems distinct. That focus on zero trust and native asset control really sets it apart conceptually.
So if we were to do a quick sort of SWOT analysis in our heads. Strengths are clearly the zero trust, native control, the performance via SUI, programmable Bitcoin, those wallets.
Absolutely. High performance, scalability, that tight SUI integration, all big pluses.
Opportunities.
Yeah.
Massive. Interoperability is a huge market. Institutional interest is growing, and boosting SUI's own ecosystem and TVL seems like a clear goal.
Huge potential there, yeah. Bringing native assets from everywhere onto SUI DeFi.
Weaknesses or risks? Well, beyond the specific platform, there's just a general crypto environment, right? Market volatility, regulations are always shifting, general cybersecurity threats.
Yeah.
Those apply no matter how good the tech is.
Exactly. Remember, crypto is still the Wild West, even with a shiny new sheriff in town, as you put it. Those systemic risks remain.
So for listeners who are intrigued, developers wanting to build, or even institutions, How do they get involved or access this?
Okay, so the IKA token itself, ticker IKA, is listed on several exchanges. Sources mention OKX DDEX, Gate.io, Bitget, KuCoin, MEXC. Current circulating supply mentioned is 10 billion IKA for effective use. Well, for devs, it's about building those multi-chain apps on Sui, using the Dwalet tools. For institutions, it's about leveraging it for secure cross-chain financial services. And for individuals, it's about controlling your native assets across chains without needing bridges or wrapped tokens. Less anxiety, more direct control.
Right, ditching the bridge anxiety. I like that.
As for mitigating risks, even with tech like IKA designed to reduce specific risks, the standard crypto advice absolutely still applies. Do your own thorough research. Always. Diversify your holdings. Secure your own wallets, 2FA, hardware wallets, strong passwords. Be paranoid about scams. Understand your risk tolerance before jumping into anything. And this really raises an important question for everyone listening. How do you navigate these exciting but potentially treacherous waters? How do you manage the broader crypto currents when exploring these deep, new technologies?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Constant vigilance and learning. So what does this all mean? Let's try and wrap this up. AK Mainnet. It really does seem like a significant step, a move towards a more connected, hopefully less risky blockchain world. Thanks to that zero trust MPC, the wallet idea. It feels like it genuinely empowers everyone involved, devs, institutions, users. It paints a picture of a possible future beyond bridges, beyond wrapped tokens, native interaction.
Yeah, and as IKEA aims to make every chain feel like a SUI chain from a control perspective, it pushes us to think bigger. Is this the beginning of the end for blockchain maximalism? Could we be moving towards a true universal coordination layer where assets just flow securely wherever they need to go, regardless of origin?
A fascinating thought. A truly interconnected Web3.
Yeah.
Definitely something to mull over. All right, keep those intellectual gears grinding. Until our next deep dive, stay curious and keep exploring this amazing, ever-changing world of crypto.